How dare I turn the sound down during Dom's... Okay, no, that okay. 1 second. Something sounds a little different than I think it should. And I don't know. Let me try that. Is that better? Oh, that's what it was. I accidentally knocked one of... So if I do that, there's that happens, and then there's that, and then there's that. Okay, yeah. There you go. I accidentally knocked one of the knobs, the EQs, the high end, and I'm like, something sounds weird. But I didn't trust myself last stream. And now I'm like, that's really not how I sound. At least that's not. Okay, this is better. Right? Okay, yeah. That's slightly better. You sound like Alvin from the Chipmunks. Oh no! Sky Widow, how's it going? Clocks in for an... Oh no! A night shift. How's it going? It has been a long time, but it's nice to see you. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere. I might have a couple of short streams. But I don't think I'm ever going to stop streaming. Even if like life gets busy, I might... Who knows? It's fun to check in like this. I also know I get upset if one of the people that I watch, either whether it's YouTube or whatever, if they just disappear completely and and I'm just like, I know that I'm not entitled to your life. I know that. But like a little howdy do, a something. Maybe don't keep up the old, just because you can't keep up your current schedule, don't cancel everything ever. So I don't think I'm ever going to stop streaming. It's fun. Or goodbye at... Or goodbye at least, yeah. I'm still really sad about Violin Mechanics. I loved his content. It was so fresh and fun. And I don't remember him saying a goodbye. Oh, this was the worst. It wasn't even a goodbye. It was he just disappeared. His channel all of a sudden just ceased to exist completely. Jimbo, thank you. Have y'all noticed? I did not even do all of the balloons that I was due for today. I ran out of pink and purple. So I have to get more. I know I've been saying that for like a week, but I really do have to get more. And I think I spent like 15 minutes filling up balloons, and I have quite a few more, so I'm gonna do more tomorrow. But yeah, no worries, Sky Widow. I'm not going anywhere. Oh no, no. I have a list that I need to do, so I'm gonna go buy some more purple, and I will make sure I get you purple. Here, hold on. Okay, so I've got here my book. I've got Jimbo. I got you down for purple, Jimbo. Thank you so much. How's everyone been? Oh, I have to, I made progress today on my son's closet. I think it's going to be officially done this weekend. I'm so excited. It is not perfect, that's for sure. But yeah, it's not perfect. Hold on, how do I do this? Look at that. The drawers are in. The drawers are in, and like it's functional. So before stream, it took extra time because was I was drilling the drawer slides into the drawer boxes, and I was getting it, and then I get to the last drawer slide, and I was short 2 screws. I don't know if a couple screws like fell underneath of something or what, I don't know, but 2 screws just disappeared, and then I had to go back to Home Depot for 2 screws. I was so mad, because that ended up being an hour out of my day. I'm like, dang it! But yeah, since they're functional, we went ahead and moved over a bunch of his clothes in there to make the drawer faces, but that's okay. It's a functional closet now. Oh my word, Ross, thank you. 43 months. Jimbo, thank you for 5 gifted subs. Oh my word. Thank you. Oh, this is a dumb question. If the hype train says incoming, does that... We're not there yet, right? Oh, we're there now. Oh, I will go get the treats after I play this hype train, but I know I don't usually play the hype trains on work days, but I'm not recording yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and play. It's the least I can do. We are now... Hi, Fatty. Well, how's it going? Is that... Yeah! I mean, I've had it for a few months now, but I love it. Isn't it so nice? I suppose I usually unpack my violin off screen. So that makes sense. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I am gonna put a new mouse and keyboard as a wish list. Loveless, thank you. It's not a Musafia, no. not the right Chrysler that you said, but... Hi, Blinks, thank you. Oh shoot, where was the... I would love to sight read that. I really should. Oh, it got stuck in my head. Yes, I was. It's got stuck in my head. Schism, there you go. I playing the Eye of the Tiger or the Final Countdown? Did I mix them up? Did I play both? I don't... It's the Final Countdown. I thought I was doing the Final Countdown. What? Whoa. Are you rethinking your life decisions now? Oh, no, you're not. You wanted to even it out for 1,000. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to play. The final. It's the final count. What is that? That's what I was playing. It's the same thing over and over again? Oh. Okay, they're so easily mashed up though. Y'all have to yell songs at me in chat, otherwise I'm gonna just sit here wondering what to do. Oh no, that's okay, Peter. that Gogan? Oh my. Oh no. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Oh, I remember. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much. That was so much fun. I hope that y'all enjoy these hype trains. Testing my musical knowledge. Apparently, the final countdown and the Eye of the Tiger is one and the same in my brain. So I need to fix my my memory on that. Oh gosh. Hi, Choji body. I need to get you a treat. I don't Yep, I need a BRB to get Choji a treat because I Sky Widow redeemed give puppers a treat, so I gotta go do that. Final Eye of the Capybara. What? How is the new puppy doing? The new puppy's doing good. Oh, why'd I do that? Yeah, new puppy is doing super, super good. He's he's gaining a lot more confidence, which is really good. He is still like not on. If he's outside, he tends to be a little bit on edge. So like last night, we heard frogs croaking, and he was barking at them, which is fine. Dogs bark, but it's more like he couldn't take his attention off of them. So we're working through that, and we're working on engagement. Yeah, if he's with family, he's totally fine. If he's in a new environment, he's like very, very on alert, which is a German Shepherd thing, and it's, I think, definitely in his breed, and he's in the adolescent fear stage, and so, but I'm basically anytime I have to take him to Home Depot or I am driving somewhere that will allow dogs, I'll take him with me, and it's working out good. Oh, it is a good thing. I want him to, you know, bark at anything he finds suspicious. But right now he's like, hey, a lizard crossed my path. I need to bark at it for 5 minutes, which is... So, but he's gotten a lot better in the last 2.5 weeks. He's gotten a lot better. So, he's... I was gonna do that with, hold on. Darth said that I could hook his up. So I might, let me see if I can do that. I don't know. We shall see. I wonder. I have no idea. Hey, today was gonna be a... By the way, I feel really, like, if... I need to go through and thank everyone for everyone's contribution for the hype train. But if you... Hold on. If you, oh no, what was I gonna say? I can't, no, I can't multitask. I can't do that, can I? I can't remember. Hold on, I really did get distracted because I realized I did not go and thank people for, oh, I remember. If you contributed to the hype train and you want a request today, I'm not gonna say no. Like, that was a massive hype train. Or if you want me to bank a request for Friday, I can do that as well. Just let me know, because yeah. So Ross, thank you for 43 months. Jimbo, thank you for gifting a sub to Sky Widow. Jimbo, thank you for 5 gifted. Peter for the 100 bits, which started the hype train. Loveless, thank you for 8 months. Story hi. Oh, that was the emote. Never mind. But yes. Jimbo, thank you for gifting us up to Heather Butler. Peter, thank you for 2 gifted. Jimbo, thank you for 2 gifted. iBlinks, thank you for 9 months. Peter for 700 bits. Jimbo for 500 bits. Grax, 50 months. Oh my word. Have a good work, Lurk. Spicy Fruit Salad, hi. Thanks for 500 bits. Jimbo, thank you for 2 gifted. Peter, thank you for gifting us up to Simply Tobias. Char2D2, wonderful name. Thanks for the follow. Peter, thanks for 4 gifted. Jimbo for 5 gifted. Clever Coyote, thanks for the follow. Jimbo for 2 gifted. Peter for 6 gifted. Jimbo for 10 bits. Peter for 12 gifted. Peter for 5 gifted. And then making yourself 1,000 gift sub. Yeah, gift sub. 1,000 gift subs. My word. Jimbo for 5 gifted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did I tell y'all I haven't... You have a new house? Congratulations! I have PayPal money, but not like normal. I suppose I get that, because once you transfer it over your bank, they... Well, no, you can... No, I get that. You don't want to move it around. I haven't heard that before. I have PayPal money, but not normal money. Do you want to play requests, or would you rather... It's not the would you rather one or the other. I really should do some recording, so I actually put something out on YouTube, because I feel like I haven't produced anything for y'all in a long time, and I really should. However, there's some days when I have requests and like they have like the queue is wide open, but then there's days like today when I'm not doing requests, and then all of this shows up, and then I don't know what to do. I'll celebrate my poor decisions. Oh my gosh, has a great room for streaming when I get... Oh, that's so much fun. Okay, bank me mods. Yes, no, if you want to do the whole new album as a song list. Oh, could try to look at Caprice Viennoise. Oh. I almost spilled my coffee. Thank goodness I didn't. Let me see what that looks like. Let me see something. One second. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can connect a... One second. I'm just texting Darth. Should have gotten this set up a long time ago, but as long as you're aware that if you're going to tip using your PayPal, it will have Darth's name. He said, I don't know, reset it. We need like the Jeopardy theme right now. Okay. He's big and boisterous. As long as you're okay with that. That's the only... That's... Okay. Oh, gosh. One second. Okay, come on now. Goodness gracious. I mean, I am going to go to recording right after this, but then at least you'll know that it's... Oh my word, can you play... Oh. The number of times it's asking... Alright, it should be set up. Refresh the Stream Elements page. But it should be set up. You don't have to do anything now. But just let me know that the option is not there yet. What? Please follow the instructions. There's more instructions. Oh. No, it should be. I don't know. I think that's it. It might just take a little while to refresh. Maybe, possibly. I did the connection thing. I don't know what else. Let me see. This is such an interesting stream, isn't it? Oh, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't... Let me refresh over here. I don't know. I'm just here to cause chaos you are causing. That's okay. Me and Jimbo, harbingers of chaos. That's okay. Oh, gotta hydrate, which I have coffee. Okay, I will BRB because I need to get treats for the puppers, and then water because this is not. That's not water. I'm not hydrating with that, am I? Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. As far as yeah, I don't know. I will figure that out later. But I will BRB. Enjoy the music. Choji. Come here. Up. Oh, yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Okay. Angelus! Hi! How's it going, Angelus? From 0 to 9,000. If you actually, I really should do this, but if you want to have a couple more videos on TikTok as opposed to like Instagram, but I do have, if you want to keep up with my dogs, whenever I do post anything, it happens to be there. So it's going good, Angelus. We had a hype train. I am so confused. Please follow the instructions. I don't understand. There's no more instructions to do. I don't know. I'm very confused. I don't know. Just put in a command. So you aren't going to follow the... There's no instructions that's sent to the email address that I provided. Which would be Darth's. There is... There's no instructions. I don't know. It says, thanks for letting us connect your PayPal account to Stream Elements. That's it. Sounds like a skill issue. Well, you just joined the stream and chose violence? Oh. I am so confused about what I need to do. Is there some email you have to click on? I don't know. I don't know. I joined and chose violins. Oh, that's so funny. Was there another option outside? So I can do Saturday afternoon, like closer to noon, earlier in the day, like midday, or I can do evening. What would work better for everyone in chat? Oh. I think I figured it out. Darth never set up his PayPal completely. That might be it. Noon would work? Eastern? I could do that. I have rehearsal for a play, so I'm out. I got it. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that is... There you go. It should be connected now. I think it's worked now. It works! There's a button! It's there! Woohoo! Oh my word. There you go. It will be temp. Oh. What? What? Peter. Oh my word. Hi, Bubbaloo. How's it going? Yeah. My son's gonna join the stream. Oh no, are you gonna shoot me while I'm playing? Oh my gosh. Does that mean we're getting a block party? Let's go. We are, yeah, it is, yeah, we're getting a full-on block party. So if you want lots of requests, go ahead and submit them. Oh, when did we get the cool graphic? What cool graphic? The little thing that pops up here? Oh, wait. You mean like the whole... I don't... That was my first time. I need to go see it again. I saw that something crazy happened. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Whoa! Oh, that one! That's so cool. I've never seen that happen. Technically, I've been doing block parties even if the whole thing hasn't been fulfilled because I feel bad that it would get partially fulfilled and then I would feel like I'm not. Yeah, anyways. I got a violin for my birthday. I was wondering if you had any tips on first learning violin. Have fun with it. See if you can find yourself a teacher, but if not, there's a lot of... If you're going down the YouTube route, have patience with yourself and just remember there is not a one-size-fits-all. So if you were going to be finding a teacher, they would be trying to problem solve to figure out what works best for you. So if you're doing that for yourself, and if something doesn't work for you, just keep looking for answers until you find a good solution for yourself. Oh, yeah. Yep, nope. That I didn't see that either. Yep, spicy fruit salad. Yep. Oh my gosh. Are you leaving? Hug. Bonk. Bonk. Oh, are you, is your nose okay? Are you okay? Huh? Your mask doesn't have a nose? Your mask doesn't have room for a nose. His mask doesn't have room for a nose, so I accidentally bonked his nose. Don't hug him, he'll trap you in a jutsu. You're gonna break my arm? Huh? You booped his snoot. I sure did. Getting a headache, going to bed now. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, Sky Widow. You have a Silent Hill villain in your house. It's a Naruto villain. I know how to use it. Just trying to make it not sound like a dying cat when using the bow. Yeah, that is a lifelong thing, is trying to get the tone that you want. That is a lifelong um, endeavor, that's for sure. Oh gosh. All right, today's kind of turning out to be a hangout. Um, I was wondering, Dirty Monkey a while ago sent me a YouTube video about classical musicians and uh, whether or not they can do improv. Uh, did you want me to watch it and then give my thoughts? Or do you want to watch me work on stuff? Mindfulness says yes. Sure, I don't mind. I sure don't mind. Can you share that again? Up to you. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no? Hey, Sarah's returned. What is this? Thank you, Dirty Monkey. Let's do other things. So, Dirty Monkey shared with me here. Dirty Monkey shared with me this video. It's called Why is Improvisation So Difficult for Classical Musicians? And was curious about my thoughts. When I'm curious to see. It is only 10 minutes, and I would be reacting and giving my thoughts. Oh, this is the most replayed. Should I watch it at 1.5 times speed? I'm curious.
Why is it so difficult for classical musicians to improvise? Now, first of all, I'm not making a generalization and saying that all classical musicians are this way. This is definitely not the case, but I think it's still safe to say that most classical musicians that practice the music of the Western tradition, they have more difficulty with improvisation than musicians of other genres like...
I will say I agree 2 times, right? I will say I agree with playback speed. Let me do 1.5 because I am slow. I agree with this generalization. Also, in that classical musicians, if they are good at improvisation, they either have taken some sort of jazz something. So, classical musicians that are good at improvisation work on it outside of their degree thing. In any music school that I've gone to, whether it's like music school in high school, like violin classes, orchestra classes, theory classes, if you're going down the route of classical music, there's no emphasis on improvisation. If you are a performance major, there is so little emphasis on theory. It is like they let you hobble along. As long as you don't fail the class is all they care about. I remember when I went to Yale and there were when I went to Yale, there were, like, everyone who went to the theory class were all performance majors. And they were people that were down the track of becoming a soloist. And if you were not good at music theory, they poured all the help into them to make sure that they just didn't fail. Because if they got below a C, they wouldn't be able to graduate from Yale, wouldn't let them look good, right? Like, it wouldn't look good for Yale to have them a performance major then fail a theory class. So they didn't really care that they didn't understand music theory, just as long as you didn't fail completely. Open book exams, whatever is possible, we need you to pass so that you can then graduate because your performances will make us look good. And so, but with improvisation, you need to have a good basis of theory because if you don't have a good understanding of music theory, then you cannot improvise. If you don't understand, like, one of the reasons why I can pick up on stuff so well is because I have an understanding of music theory and I have a good understanding of chord progressions and what chord leads to what and what generally leads to what. And the more that I practice jazz, the more that I'm able to then kind of guess what will go where. The click the link and give the video a like since Julia's doing a reaction and the vid isn't getting views. Yes. Anyways, I know that's too long of a thing. But yes, generally I agree. Like, there is no emphasis on improvisation for classical musicians. The only emphasis there is on is being able to play your instrument really well and being able to interpret what's written on the sheet music. Like, that's it. Can you read music? Can you read what's written? And can you play your instrument well? Is usually the focus of classical musicians.
Blues, jazz, flamenco, folk, and so many others. Now, I am personally invested in this very question because I've struggled with quite a few things related to improvisation as a classically trained pianist and composer.
How can you follow all those cues, know what's going on based on the context, and retain all of that information musically and be able to improvise over it?
Hey, Nari, find something cool that you wrote, your thing, find a cool chunk that we can jam on.
Over the years, I've become a lot more comfortable with improvisation, yet I'm still a little hesitant to do it sometimes, especially in front of other people, and sometimes I just have this psychological barrier that I noticed against improvisation. Just last week, I was with a composer friend of mine who asked me to come over to the studio to help him brainstorm some ideas for a little bit of music for a picture. And because this type of thing is not very straightforward, we thought it would be best to improvise together using 2 keyboards. What I remember so distinctly about this very moment was that I was simultaneously very excited to do this and very reluctant to. I felt a little uncomfortable, self-conscious, a little shy. Of course, part of it was probably the fact that I haven't been around musicians like this or in a setting where...
So, I agree with her, like the feeling of, oh shoot, I need to improvise and come up with my own thing. Dirty Monkey asked, did you do much improv yourself prior to Twitch? Yes. The only reason why I felt comfortable doing improv on Twitch is because I had gotten comfortable doing it beforehand. I started out in church playing violin along to like Christian music, but it was never like, it was improvisation, like harmonies, second lines, very simple things. So I would stick to the melody, but like it was always songs that I knew and was very, very familiar with, and it was usually like sticking to thirds or sixths around the melody. Later on, maybe around 12 years ago, I was hired as a musician for a Christian camp called Camp of the Woods. That's where I met Brian Hull. And there were a ton of musicians there, and we'd get out like on the beach and we would jam, and at some point they're like, oh, let's improvise over like a chord progression from one of these songs. And I'm like, no, I can improvise as long as there is a melody, but if there's no melody and I just have to do my own thing, I can't do it. But because they're like everybody else, all of the other classical musicians were like, no. And there were a couple of jazz musicians and they would have fun doing it. And I'm like, I have this thing where I'm like, it's not possible. You have a brain and I have a brain. You can do this, which means that there's no reason I cannot. Don't you get on me with the singing fatty whale. I know where you're going with this in your brain. But in my head, I'm like, you have a brain, I have a brain. We both, like, never mind the fact that you have your experience, I have my experience. But if you can sit there and listen to just a regular chord progression and you can figure out how to do that, then I can at least try and come up with something similar. Okay? So then I started trying, started becoming fun. After that, I started playing with a lot more either groups or people started having a little bit more fun with other musicians that wanted to do that, started getting together with other jazz musicians and having jam sessions, doing jam sessions instead of practicing. And then that just kept going and kept rolling. And then when I started on Twitch, it kind of was like, well, I could probably figure out the melody. I don't know about you, but I feel like in the past 5 years I've gotten better at improvising. So it's I want to say that I'm better now than I was 5 years ago. I don't know that there's certain things 5 years ago that I maybe would have been a little bit scared to do, but I don't know. React content, streamer achievement unlocked. Thanks for the 100 bits, Angeles.
I'm jamming with someone in a very long time, but still, I think there's something behind this that I want to explore a little further. An analogy that comes to mind is the difference between a very carefully and specifically crafted dialogue between two characters in a play and a conversation between two friends in real life. So of course there are some flaws in this comparison, but bear with me. Imagine a person that is only trained to recite Shakespearean monologues and dialogues, and they are a Shakespearean expert.
That am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous-looking glass. I that am rudely stamped.
Even though this is absurd, just imagine them not speaking and communicating in any other manner other than Shakespearean language.
To all bear such as are of better person than myself.
Now, imagine this person being placed in a living room where there is a conversation happening between two people, and then they come over and they say, hey, how's it going? This very moment is quite similar, in my opinion, to a classical musician going into, let's say, a jazz jam session, or any kind of jam session where there is a spot open for the classical musician to improvise. Now, even if what they're being asked to do is quite simple, just improvise on one chord or something like that, the musician can be quite stumped, just as you would imagine this Shakespearean person to be stumped. What am I supposed to say? How's it going? I know what that is, but I'm not trained, nor am I used to responding to that.
And cry content to that which grieves my heart.
I think there's also the classical musicians, you are trained to read what's on the page. You're trained to what you think is not important. What's on the page and what the composer originally intended is more important than what you want to say as a musician. And classical music is this you have to walk a tightrope on being able to add your own voice and add your own interpretation, but your interpretation cannot overshadow what the composer originally intended. There are some, of course, musicians that will let their interpretation take over a little bit more over what's written. Like people who want to play Bach more romantically, or like Vengerov, who will sometimes rewrite certain areas, and they always end up having more crowd and audience appeal. But within the classical music realm, they're kind of like, well, but they take too much liberty. So anyways, yeah, I feel like once you get into the having to improvise, even a very simple chord progression, classical musicians will be like, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know what exactly you're expecting of me. I don't know, I've learned plenty of pieces that are in this key or with this chord progression, but what exactly am I supposed to be saying? So it's a very weird thing to think about. You're not reading what someone else is telling you to play. You're having to come up with your own idea, which is the same thing with composing. I could use this as a lecture to myself with composing.
And wet my cheeks with artificial tears.
Another thing that comes to mind is that the typical classical musician is playing all this repertoire throughout their day, practicing masterworks, basically pieces that have survived centuries and are considered the top of its class. And so they're used to listening to and performing this sophisticated material, and now when they're trying to improvise, they have to go back to almost talking like a baby. They have to scale back and really start slow and start from a place that is not as sophisticated. Now at this point, similar to learning a new language, it's probably rough. You're probably struggling just to say a few simple things.
Je suis le voisin. Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
Yep, oh gosh, I didn't move it over to the thing. I didn't move over to that. My bad. Oh, well, I just apologized. Okay, extra, my bad. Um, yeah, when you start improvising, you when you do classical, you spend so much time making sure that your intonation is great, that you make sure that your transitions are great, your string crossings, your bow changes, everything is super clean and super crisp, and like it just has to be perfect and so thought out. Like anytime you hear me play something classical, every single second of it, like millisecond, is thoughtfully planned, placed. Like a crescendo is like you have to think about your bow placement, your speed, your vibrato. Every single part of your technique comes together to create a shape. And then when you improvise, you kind of have to let it go out of the window. And you have to be okay with some imperfection. Like, it's such an odd situation to be in, at least in comparison to some other art forms, especially when just a cursory glance over some of the different periods of classical music quickly shows both composers and performers incorporating their own improv and flair to others' pieces. Yes, there was a shift that happened. Oh gosh, when was this? Late 1800s, with Chopin and Schumann. So Chopin is, which I'm a little bit rusty on my music history, but Chopin is who kind of started out doing the modern day recital, right? Where like I am going to schedule, I'm going to play through these pieces, we're going to get an audience, and the purpose of this is just for you to listen to me play, right? Before that was there would be a social gathering and a musician would be invited, and the musician would play one or two pieces as kind of like an entertainment focal point of the party, or like the or operas, right? Or like, but even operas were mostly about social gatherings. Like people would go and listen to some arias, and then most of the time they'd be out in the lobby doing their social stuff, right? And so you could have a little bit more improvisation. That was normal. If you wanted to get your name out there as a musician, you would do more improvisation. But once Chopin started doing the recitals where it was more about the performer, and then Schumann then started, Schumann wanted to elevate the classical genre to more of an elite standing. Wagner joined in, and then classical music started becoming more of a class, like a social class thing, where you were studying the greats because you wanted to surpass the greats, and then the greats had to be preserved, and then you couldn't do your own thing with classical music. So that started changing. Yes, there was a lot of improvisation before, right? Mozart would like you would improvise your own cadenzas, but then things started changing a little bit, late 1800s into the 1900s. So yeah, history had a lot to do with this. Like now, if you're watching an opera and you sneeze too loudly, someone's gonna shush you. But that's not how opera was enjoyed when it first, not even when it first came out, but when it was popular, when like the main floor was not seats. The main floor was no seats. It was for the regular working middle, like there was no middle class, but it was for the working low class, where they could just walk in, they could have their beers, they could sit there and be loud. Mosh pit, exactly. That was what opera was. And then the box seating was for the upper class with, with like those were the people who had money, but they wouldn't be sitting in the box seats. They would be out socializing. And if you've noticed, whenever there is a really important aria, there is usually a huge fanfare. So whatever lords and ladies were sitting out in the lobby, they would hear the big fanfare and go, "Oh, the important aria is coming up," and then they'd go in, watch the aria would be over, and then they'd leave. And then all the fun little cutesy bits in between important arias were, again, entertainment for the mosh pit. So it's changed a lot over the years. Improvisation used to be something that classical musicians were very well versed in. I mean, even if you go down to the Renaissance period, there were no notes written for accompaniment or the bass or cello players. It was just figured bass. They were given the chords, kind of like how jazz musicians are now, and they had to come up with their own line. That is not the case anymore today.
Je suis Sam.
D'Amérique.
Oui, d'Amérique.
You mess up a lot. You feel a little insecure and confused.
Oui, tu joues. Non, non, je joue avec des voitures.
Il joue aux petites voitures.
Because of this discomfort, I think a lot of classical musicians, like myself back in the day, don't feel this huge desire to go beyond that. Because in general, of course, we're not used to having people around us and inspiration around us that constantly remind us that there is something about improvisation that will deepen your musicianship. It will offer you a very different experience with expressing yourself and being in the moment, with being spontaneous and creative. All of these different things, it's just not valued as much in classical music. So naturally, you just won't want to get over this discomfort. There's not as much incentive, and the job description also does not push us to do that. It's important to acknowledge that improvisation was actually a much bigger part of the classical music tradition back in the days of Bach, Beethoven, Chopin, Liszt, Debussy. Up until, even 100 years or so ago, gradually over time, this has changed. No longer are performers improvising their own preludes, interludes, cadenzas, full pieces on stage. Now, I think there are multiple factors as to why this has happened. Some of it include just the very fact that these pieces that composers were writing became much more complex with a lot more moving parts. Composers wanted to be more specific about what they were writing and what they wanted performers to replicate, and there was more of a separation between performers and composers. If you think about pieces like large symphonic works with many, many parts involved that are tightly woven together, it's not really practical to have people improvise there. And I think also over time, sections that were dedicated for improvised solos were also more specifically written out. And this, maybe it was because composers just wanted more control, or performers wanted to be a little more secure as classical concert tradition became more formal and the stakes became higher. I'm not really sure, but that just became a thing, or rather less of a thing.
Funnily enough, about what was just shown, Joachim is a violinist who ended up writing cadenzas for all the major violin concertos, and his cadenzas are now considered the standard. So for violins, at least, you can technically write your own cadenza, but because conservatories started coming out, you're less likely to win a competition if you write your own cadenza, because then you're getting judged on your writing as well as your playing. But it's easier if you just play the standard cadenza. Yeah. Okay. It's easier if you just play the standard cadenza, because then you have a better fighting chance. And yeah, so like Joachim is not the original. Joachim didn't write the Brahms concerto, but he wrote the cadenza, and it's standard to play the Brahms concerto with the Joachim cadenza along with a lot of other. So I think whether it's the invention of conservatories or widespread competitions, or I don't know, but anyways.
The point of this video is not to weigh the pros and cons of improvisation, but to just remind people out there who are classically trained and have experienced something similar to the things that I have. It's okay if you feel a little uncomfortable. Don't try to force it, and also just acknowledge the fact that that point of entry when you are getting started and when you're starting to practice improvisation, because that is a huge part of getting better. You improve little by little. That is the hardest part. There are a lot of layers to this as well. It's not something very straightforward, so it's okay if it's difficult, if it's confusing. Okay, now let's turn to my phone, where I'm gonna pull up some answers to an Instagram poll that I just put out. I asked, if you identify as a classical musician, do you improvise? And if not, what has been stopping you? Terrified, insecure, feel like I'm lacking the knowledge to step into that world. I enjoy practicing my normal classical music repertoire. Never found the need to. Am a massive jazz fan, but it's like speaking a foreign language I haven't mastered. Thinking about all the brilliant pieces I played, every improvisation feels like garbage. Fear of sounding stupid, clueless, unoriginal, cringeworthy. Fear of doing something ugly. Yes, I improvise a lot as an organist and Baroque continuist. All of the organists that I know personally are incredible improvisers. So it is alive and well. Not knowing enough harmony theory, not knowing where to start. I know too little music theory, and there are a lot of answers similar to this.
Music
I think a lot of
theory,
people think that they need to know a ton about theory before they get started. Of course, knowing more theory helps, but it's not necessarily the case. No, I get discouraged because I don't know where to start, but I would like to start. When I improvise, I feel like it is the equivalent of a 3-year experience. No exposure, space, and training to do it. Yes, I do. I always wanted to do it because I think that's a really good way to express yourself. When I studied classical music 8+ years, it was never an option that teachers allowed. Now I play jazz. No, even though I'm all for it. I think it's a fear of experimentation. So a lot of these are very similar to my experience. I want to know now in reverse.
I think it's just the fear of sounding awful. Like, there's plenty of times, and I've gotten better at it, but there's plenty of times when I'm improvising over something and I want to have a bit more fun, and I'm like, I think this is, I want to see what happens if I do this. And I try it, and I'm like, nope, that didn't work. And, like, jazz musicians will have plenty of moments like that where they try something and it doesn't work, but they just kind of move it. They just keep moving along. Is she speaking fast, or is it the shrooms? I have it on 1.75 times speed, so I
Let me know
go
in the
through
comments
this
what you all think.
faster.
Are you classically trained? And if so, did you experience something similar or not? I would love to know, and I think it would be great to just start a conversation here. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support.
There you go. Yeah. Outside of the classical world, is there formal education path for violinist improvisation? No. I don't, you know what's funny? I don't know in any school that I went to, if you were a violinist, if you could take a jazz course, because it's usually jazz band. So if you're a violinist, you couldn't join jazz band, right? Like, because how's a violinist going to compete with a huge thing of like a bunch of sax players and a bunch of trombone players or trumpet players, unless you then have an electric violin and an acoustic. But then you have that barrier to entry of, well, you don't have an electric violin. Why would the school have one? Because there isn't usually a need for it, so they're not going to pay for an electric violin and the electric everything else. How do bluegrass fiddle just experience? They just get in there, you grow up with it, or you get plugged in to a bluegrass band, or like people. You just go in and you try stuff and you just have fun, just like how I do it with Twitch. You just get thrown into it. I don't know about formal education, but it may depend on what's available in an area. The area I grew up in had a significant French background, so fiddle teachers are in the area. There are fiddle teachers, and there are like bluegrass teachers, and there are also, right, like if you are in an area that has, like, if I wanted to learn how to do bluegrass, I'm not in the right spot because there isn't a huge community. There's not a lot of availability here, right? But if you grow up in an area where there's a ton of jazz being played, and it's the kind of community where you can just bring your instrument and be like, hey, can I jump in? You jump in, people will eventually give you tips, they'll give you tricks. It's the way that I learned classical, where, because there was a big classical like culture where I grew up, and the more that you play for people, the more they give you tips, the more that they give you advice. So it's the same way. There's every once in a while like reels and YouTube videos that I'll see of violinists, a random violinist being like, here's tips for improvising, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I'll try that the next stream, and it works out, and I end up keeping it in like the things that I do, and it's a lot of fun. Do you work on improvisation with your students, or just focus on the traditional training? Most of my students are not looking to improvise. There are some students that would like to, and where I always start with improvising is starting out practicing improvising with the song you're very familiar with. If you start out with songs you're very familiar with, you're a little bit, and especially songs in keys that you're familiar with, right? So like if you're trying to improvise to something that's in F sharp major, and you don't know how to play an F sharp major, it's not going to turn out very well. But if you're very comfortable with something in D major, and that's a scale world that you're familiar with and your fingers can go to very easily, then it'll be a lot easier for you to improvise along to it, because you're not trying to figure out where your fingers should go. So if you start out with something that's in a key you're very comfortable with, then that's very helpful. Got it. So start with the ABCs. Julia, I've seen you grab the bluegrass vibe with no problem. But then I'll see a bluegrass violinist and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like they seem so comfortable in it. They sound fluent. When I listen to myself do improv on like bluegrass or something else, I'm like, I, s- I'm like tripping along. So, this is wild. This whole React is so relevant to my block party playlist. I don't, yeah, I hope that that was interesting to you, Dirty Monkey. I had fun reacting to it. I always like having talks. Um, I don't know how interesting y'all find it, but I have fun with it. Peter, thank you for the $200 tip. Again, I can't get over it. Do you want your request? Do you want me to play to the album now? I mean, for that big of a tip, yeah, I'm okay with throwing out the recording out the window and playing what you want me to. Or do you want me to do that on for the block party? What do you Can we put up a poll? Excuse me, sorry. There's something stuck in my teeth. And it was bugging the crap out of me. I'm always hyper aware whenever, like, I'm hyper aware if I go on a little bit too long of a talk, or I'm like, oh, I kind of want to play along to this if my viewership goes down. But for, for, for those of you who are still here and are engaging, I do so very much appreciate it. Deftones? What of the Deftones would you like? I really need to sit down and practice improv intentionally sometime. I picked up a deck and dice for improv practice some time ago, and it's very much geared towards putting specific boundaries, challenges to intentionally help get comfortable with things sounding bad. There's only so much good you can sound like when you get 3 random notes to use or given a challenge to interpret a paragraph of writing. I do know that jazz musicians, like, I need to get better at this. Every jazz musician I've met know music theory so well. And yet, what Narasol said is true. You don't need a very good grasp of music theory to improvise. However, it helps a lot. So, one exercise that I've seen jazz musicians do, and it's not like I've seen them do it, but when they kind of riff back and forth, and then they later talk about what they were doing, I realize that they're doing certain things intentionally. They're so very comfortable with all the different modes, which is a different scale system, that they sometimes, to change the color of whatever it is that they're playing, they'll switch between modes. And it changes the color and the character of whatever it is they're playing, even though the chord progression might stay the same. And so doing stuff like that, like challenges in your head of like, okay, maybe for the next little section, I'm only going to use a pentatonic scale. Or the next little section, I'm going to lower the 7th. Or I'm going to raise the this. Or I'm going to lower the this. Or I'm going to leave out the tonic. Or I'm going to, like, it's really cool. Oh, that's the name of the album, Private Music. You know what? Yeah, sure. I found the link for the whole album. How about this? I will end up doing probably another stream tomorrow where I do some recording, and I'll probably work on some. Actually, really quick before I do this, what I really should do is save. How do I save? Yeah, there you go. Save to cloud. Sorry. Oh gosh, I said sorry again. So this is the running to the moon thing. I didn't finish this. But what I can do is I just saved it to the cloud. There was a couple of times this past week that I was like, I really, like while we were just hanging out, me and Darth, that I was like, I should really work on this. But because I hadn't saved it to the cloud and I had turned my computer off, I was like, ugh, I didn't upload it. So I can't work on it from my laptop. So at the very least, I've done this so that tomorrow maybe it's all written out and then I can go ahead and record it. Not failed, better, okay? The fun place where knowing enough of the rules helps show exactly where you can change or break them. I do the same with baking. It's not hard for me to quite literally throw a new bread formula together for an experiment when I know the general guidelines needed for the basic ingredients. I'm not there yet with baking, that's for sure. And even with improvisation, I'm not there yet. Like, for example, I'm really awful with modes. For some reason, modes is something that I always struggled with memorizing. I remember the Lydian mode, and then that's it. But maybe that's something that I can work on in the next couple of weeks, is focus on a mode and do some music theory on stream and work on trying to implement the modes in my playing. But that's something that I wish I had done, even if I couldn't join jazz band. I wish that I would have at least sat in rehearsals so that I could listen and learn how they do it. Rob hates Lydian mode. Does he really? Mode man will be heartbroken to hear that. Hey, Gibson Lens. That's how I remember Lydian mode. Wait, seriously? Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Why does Rob hate Lydian mode? I can remember Mixolydian, but mostly because I find it fun. I don't even remember which one is Lydian. I just remember what it sounds like because da 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 da. That's it. So he just does, which makes me sad because I can never request aria di mezzo carattere from him. You can request it from me. Oh my gosh. Alright, my task is to get better with my modes. Just means more Trogdor. I know you have. You can request it again from me. Okay, I'm gonna be right back because I need to pee. And then I will play through at least some of these songs. Okay? So we're gonna go through, I guess we're not recording. I'm gonna play through some of the Deftones private music. If that is alright with you guys. So, BRB. Question. Peter, do I need my electric for this, or do you think the acoustic will cut it? Cut it. Do I know how to use my consonants today? This album is pretty melodic. Okay. Let's do it. No, I was like, something sounds weird. Let me do that again. That ended way too fast. Let me do that again. It was still at almost twice as fast. That's why I was like, something feels off. Let's do it again, huh? I was like, that was not 3 minutes. Chat says that you've gotten so big, they want to know what you've been eating. One person thinks that you've been eating dog kibble. Huh? Meatball soup. 2 whole bowls today of meatball soup? Wow. And you ate what for a long time? You lived for a long time? 8 to 9 years. Yep. He's lived for a long time. He's an old soul. And he enjoys meatball soup. Kid has gotten big. Where did I make it? I made it to souvenir, which is no. No. Oh, I'm still in the middle of this. Never mind. I thought it ended. Yeah. That was the long outro, and it went into CXZ. If you don't mind, Peter, it's 10:41 here where I'm at, and I gotta put this guy to bed. So I'm gonna end. No. You wanna? Well, I am gonna play one more song, but you wanna stay up all night? Remember what happened last time you stayed up way too late? How did you feel the next day? Okay. I'm gonna play Claire de Lune. I'm gonna play Claire de Lune. Let me. Let me just pull up. There you go. I've got the sound working. And then let me also, let me get the camera working. Come on now. USB streaming. Hold up. Hold up. All right, we good. No school tomorrow in Florida. Oh gosh. Don't y'all remember he's homeschooled? So even if school has a day off, he does not. But we take our days off when everyone's in school so that wherever it is that we go is nice and empty and not crowded. That's what we do. shoot. Also, hi, Nathan. I said hi in my head, but then I forgot. I forgot to say hi out loud. Oops. Aw, thank you. Oh my gosh. Y'all, did you really? Aw, thank you. 245 bits from Jimbo, 234 bits from Peter. Thank you. MVPs of today's stream. Oh, poo! Cynthia Carter, hi. Bimzoid, hi. Pimpolosogal, hi. I forgot to bring up my YouTube chat. Cynthia, I'm so sorry. I did. I forgot to bring up my YouTube chat this whole time. That's a legit reason to apologize. I was not meaning to ignore you, YouTube. I apologized a couple of times. Yeah, I think that train has left the station today. Oh well. Let me see. Who shall we? Aw. Um, um, let's go raid Missy. Well, dang, I guess you need to start all over then. Yeah. I had fun. I had fun too. I didn't do any recording. But I hope you had fun. Yeah, hope you weren't disappointed with today's stream. Thanks for the stream. Also, may I just say, it's always lovely getting to listen to such a nice rendition of Claire de Lune at the end of streams. Thank you, Splibbo. Usually I use, what's her face's? Tiffany Poon's piano, recording that I play along to, and I'm hoping maybe after some practicing tomorrow, after I finish recording Running to the Moon, maybe I can get a good enough take of Claire de Lune on piano, and I can record that, and then Claire de Lune is up. That would be lovely. In the next couple of weeks, it is happening. And then at the end of streams, I'll be playing along to my recording. That would be so much fun. Roll with the vibe, Julia, and you did. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. All right, we're gonna raid Missy Alcazar music. Goodbye. She is a dueling pianist, sings, plays piano. Whoa, Daniel Berserk. Oh no, I'm raiding out. I'm raiding Missy. Join the raid train, please. Shout out to Daniel. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm in the middle of the raid, so just join the raid. We're gonna go say hi to Missy. I need to go put my son to bed. Thank you so much for the raid. Daniel is Twitch's resident guitar shredder, a graduate of the Berklee College of Music and professional guitarist. You'll hear everything from video game music, synthwave, classic rock, metal, acoustic, blues, and originals. Go follow Daniel. I will see you all. That's what I get for doing a bass stream. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Oh, recently, a couple weeks ago, I raided someone right after they had raided, and I was like, well, we raided to an empty stream. That was fun. But anyways, I will see you all, on Friday, if not tomorrow, to get some recording done. But if not, if I don't stream tomorrow, then Friday will be requests, and I'll play the rest of them. So we raided out, didn't we? Yeah, we sure did. Okay. I'll see you later.